Thank you. Hope everyone is fine. My talk will be on East and Southern African Regional Seismological Working Group, ESARSWG, an overview. And I'm the chair of this group, and the presentation is for the views of this group, not mine personally. As you see on the map, those the white colored countries are in the group, and the rest of the Africans in the other colors are not part of the group. And this is clearly defined by the path where the East African rift system passes. So these are the countries involved in that group. Allow me to present my presentation outline. It's quite a little bit long. I'll talk about the introduction and background, mission and core functions, objectives, structure, membership, funding, activities, collaborations, challenges, and future plans. This is what I have to say. The Eastern and Southern African Regional Seismological Group is a relatively old group now that was established in 1993, and we've been on ground for the last more than 25 years. In fact, we celebrated a 25-year anniversary in Tanzania about 3 years ago. This is to build capacity in seismology and related applications in the Eastern and Southern Africa. The founding members of this group and representatives of descents from across the country along the years, that is Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. We are aware South Africa, through the Council of Geoscience, joined the group in 1995 and left a year later. We were also recently joined by Mozambique in 2008. The ideas started as far as back in 1980s. This was done with support from FINIDA, UNESCO, and other donors. A training of workshop in seismology was organized for scientists and technicians in Zambia in 1988. The workshop was hosted by the Geological Survey Department and facilitated by prominent seismologists across the globe. During the workshop, participants also looked at the relevance of networkings and data exchange as vital in seismology. In 1990, during the regional ASP conference in Nairobi, African scientists also had a chance to discuss about teaming up. In 1992, there was a workshop for database analysts brought by scientists and technicians from along the eastern years to Dar es Salaam, in Dar es Salaam. This Dar es Salaam is in Tanzania. This was facilitated by University of Bergen. In 1992, again, workshop for members in the EAS region were brought together and thought of coming up with a regional group. And in 1993, that's when this group was born, established. You'll see that its main the main mission of this group is to strengthen the regional collaboration and capacity building, as well as efficiently monitor and mitigate earthquake and volcanic hazard in the countries along the years, which is in line to what the two presenters, the first three presenters talked about, the aspects and volcanic hazards. And this is our mission. So we share the same vision. More core functions of this group was established as a non-political and non-profit making scientific body devoted to promotion and coordination of research and activities in seismology and volcanology along the years. The general objectives of ESARSWG is to enhance infrastructure and human capacity in seismology and volcanology research in the region by strengthening the facilities, research facilities, activities, and training human resource, complementing activities of seismology and volcanology in various institutions of the region. We work on the regional scale as 8 countries, but the core functions of these, the core activities are embedded within the national plans at node levels where most of the activities take. Specific objectives to build capacity in research areas which have national and regional importance to sustainable socio-economic development of the region, to promote joint research ventures among the members of the group, to advance basic science in seismology and volcanology, to coordinate activities and exchange experience in operating and maintaining national seismic. Specific objectives continue to promote, facilitate dissemination and exchange of information, to attract talent and induce competent young scientists with gender equity distribution to work in their own countries, to solicit resources for carrying out activities that are rare, that are of strategic importance for regional and socio-economic development, provide avenues in international cooperation and links in areas of seismology. The structure, we have the General Assembly, these are all member countries represented by each. And here we have executive committee, we have the chairperson, vice chairperson, treasurer, and secretary. At the moment, I'm holding the post of the chairperson of this committee. That's why I'm able to present to you on this forum. But you know that we have a democratically elected executive that is steering the activities of this group. The committee is voted in office during the General Assembly by 1 member per country. Membership is open to institutions or individuals engaged in research and related activities on seismology and volcanology in the region. Membership is by application, whose eligibility is determined by ESARSWG Executive Committee and approved by the General Assembly. The founding members of this group, can read them on the screen. And I think I have seen members from the juridical side on this group, also on this platform. I think they are reading this number 10 juridical side of Malawi is part of this group. So we are not left out. So as prepare, you know, you have a soft landing ground as far as working with ESARSWG in terms of promoting seismology and volcanology studies in East and Southern Africa. The current ESARSWG membership, they are almost similar to what the founding countries, but we had in Mozambique, which came in 2008. And you see, we are still the same group. Funding, generally, we have donors, and the main donor whom we have spotted this group from almost the word go is the International Science Program of SARA. But of course, we have other donors like ESP, UNESCO, and Chinese government, and we wouldn't write. We want to include Prepare and other collaborating institutions on this list. We'll be glad to have any support from you as we also have on the front line promoting the same cause. Major activities, we look at regional aspect bulletin compilation. We look at regional catalog compilation. We do trainings, seismogram analysis on data analysis.
Fred, we lost your sound.
And we also try to have an MSc, it's seismology in Addis Ababa. And we look at having an MS and PhD through ESARSWG universities outside this region. I think Bristol University and other universities would be also the same destination if we have our own supported at such a university. You'll excuse me, my internet is very unstable. That's why I can't put on my video, and I can see it is still giving a warning. I don't know whether you hear me.
We can hear you very well now.
We have seismic stations covered within the region. We have national run stations. We still have Africa stations. We have IRIS stations. These are open source. We have CTB stations, but at the same time, we have also small networks, other networks, which we run on campaigns during the research promotion. But this is from individual country to individual country. As Judy said, we promoted they used to have a network in Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia, for such a cause. So we also have such a kind of networks, campaigns. Products of ESARSWG, we have regional earthquake bulletins. These are available for earthquake reviews. We have regional earthquake catalogs, bulletins. We have seismogram analysis and the other research activities. We do seismic hazard assessment in Eastern Southern Africa. This was done some time back for the GSHAP, but it's still on individual countries we do, and we also update our regional catalogs. Determination of velocity model for East Africa. Active fault mapping in Mbeya and Kalonga. This was done about 10 years ago, which included reconnaissance, field study, data analysis, and report writing. Collaboration at the ESARSWG, we collaborate with Africa Ray. We have CTBTO. We have IRIS ongoing. We had GSHAP and the Global Earthquake Model. And as we wrote this one, the prepare was on board, but we want to concretize it to be that to rolls from Malawi as it rolls to other parts of the region of the 8 countries mentioned. Challenges. The challenges are critical in having this collaboration, rather this activity going on, because the funding of station operations is really a task. Having those spares can cost an arm and leg. We have fragile data archiving system. We collect data at individual nodes, but the data at times gets lost, and it becomes a problem putting it together again. And of course, those who have been involved in running stations will not run away. Talking about vandalism, people outside there, if you put a solar panel, it will be a blessing to them if they take it to their own homes instead of running the station. As I said, also lack of spare parts and hardware, and it becomes a little bit of a challenge to buy spare parts of some of these stations, and budgeting for them within a national budget can be really, you need to convince a politician why to have an earthquake monitoring station running when the people are not having the medication in their hospitals. It is still a challenge. Then another one which I think will be solved by such a collaboration is that we have a high level brain drain. The future scientists we train here are easily snatched away by developed countries where research is really flowing, where funds for research are easily accessible, and they find that even we train people locally, or rather when we train PhD people, they end up working at the universities like Bristol or something like that, where you have easy access instead of coming home and promoting their own nodes and countries. Future plans, we intend to make governments aware of the need to support seismology sections. We intend to train more masters and PhD students in the region to compensate for the brain drain and the retirement, and those who have passed on, conduct more research on seismology and improve seismic hazard maps of the region. I think we are thinking on the same path, though we need to have the hands together. Your objectives occur well with our objectives. So I think this will be a very good opportunity to work together, because we look at seismic hazard and the volcanic hazards in the same sense of direction. I thank you so much, and allow me to mute.
Thank you very much, Fred. This is an important overview of the works of the group. It would be great if you could post a link of where people could probably find some reports or the hazard maps and other products of the working group, if possible. And I'm sure that you will be available to answer in the chat possible questions that may arise. But in the interest of time, I think I need to move to the next presentation.